Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with a Beth Israel Rabbi. This coming Shabbat, we read Parashat Vayera, a famous Torah portion, well known for its multiple fascinating stories, all connected to the Avraham, to the Abraham narrative. In fact, this particular Torah portion is so important that we actually find it as the Torah readings for Rosh Hashanah that we just read a few weeks ago here in synagogue. We begin with Abraham, still suffering pain from having done his own personal circumcision in last week's Torah portion. And he is sitting in his tent, and the Torah actually tells us V'hu Yoshev Petach HaOhel, that he is sitting at the opening of his tent. And he's visited by 3 anashim, by 3 people who the rabbis also consider to be malachim, consider to be angels. They are performing the mitzvah of bikur cholim, of visiting the sick. And Abraham, according to Jewish tradition, also performs the mitzvah of Hachnasat Orchim, of welcoming guests into his tent. Because, as Rashi explains, Abraham is literally sitting at the petach, at the opening of the tent, in order to be able to see who is going by and in order to be able to whisk them into his tent, despite the fact that he is still healing. Baal Torim explains that when the text says, Yoshev Petach HaOhel, the gematria of this is the Hachnasat Orchim, that is to bring guests in. Not just to welcome them, but to literally bring guests in. And this is what Abraham actively does. And then the Baal Torim explains that when the text says, Hine Shlosha, that here are 3 anashim, here are 3 people, that the gematria, the numerical value of that is equal to Elu, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. The names of the 3 angels who, according to Jewish tradition, Abraham brought into the tent, all of whom were ultimately then not only going to look after Abraham according to Jewish tradition, but after the entire Jewish people. When we perform a mitzvah of Hachnasat Orchim, of welcoming guests and bringing them into our ohel, bringing them into our bayit, into our home or into our tent, we are creating the type of atmosphere that is not only welcoming and friendly for others, but that ultimately reflects back positively on us as well. I love the fact that the Abraham narrative opens with the idea that we need to care for others. We need to make our space a space not only open to God, but a space open to our friends and family. Please join us this coming Shabbat in our sacred space of Beth Israel, the house of Israel, as we welcome another Jonathan, that is Jonathan Berkowitz, as he's going to be delivering important words about the concept of legacy, ensuring that our home, our ohel, our tent will stand for generations to come, to be able to welcome our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and their friends as well. Shabbat Shalom.